Alright battlers, the Galarian Pokemon are finally here and BHaz dominates his opponents with Obstagoon. Let's get into it. BHaz's team does feature Obstagoon in the lead with his Giratina altered form and Cresselia in the back. In this lead situation, we do see Obstagoon going up against Giratina, and this is actually a match where Obstagoon is going to perform really well. It is a dark and normal type Pokemon. The only other Pokemon I could think of that has that typing is Alolan Raticate, which makes it very weak to fighting type, but it does, as you can see there, have some really impressive bulk nonetheless. He's going to swap here into his Cresselia to deal with this Swampert. Although Obstagoon is very bulky, it's not going to want to take more than one Hydro Cannon from a Swampert, and I will say as well that because it's a dark and normal type, it doesn't get stab on its fighting type attacks. BHaz's Obstagoon is running counter with Night Slash and Cross Chop. The Cross Chop is going to be very spammy, but again, it's not going to have that same kind of punch that it would with other Pokemon like a Machamp. The Earthquake does land against this Cresselia. He's going to go straight for another Moonblast here. And again, Moonblast, a great move that was just buffed with the recent updates. And I'm so glad this battle was the first battle he sent me because Scizor really embodies kind of the dream of Obstagoon, but Obstagoon just does everything Scizor does a little bit better. Scizor can straddle a lot of matchups like Giratina Armored Mewtwo with its Night Slash attack, as you're going to see here. The advantage, of course, with Obstagoon is that it does have the counter damage that's going to add up over time, and then a fast fighting type attack that will help it against Pokemon like Registeel. So it does have the benefits of Scizor in the Ultra League, but it actually is a little bit better in a lot of ways. He's going to bring in Obstagoon here, and check this out. This Night Slash is going to land, and it barely tickles Obstagoon at all. Here he comes with a Night Slash against his opponent's Pokemon that just swapped in, and Giratina is definitely going to shield that. BHaz gets the boost as well, so Obstagoon is really rolling here, gonna draw that second shield, and then watch how much damage this Giratina does with a Dragon Claw. Not much at all. That's might be even less than what it does to a Poliwrath, which is really impressive. Gonna go ahead and fire off another Night Slash there. That boosted Night Slash doing a ton of work. BHaz does kind of go for the swap there, but it doesn't go through in time. Gonna absorb that Dragon Claw, swap into Giratina, fire off his own Dragon Claw here to try to wrap up this Scizor, which he does, and then another Dragon Claw is gonna win the game for him. Jumping right into the second battle, we do see Obstagoon encountering Swampert. So he is going to make the safe swap here into Cresselia. Cresselia, a really great Pokemon in the Ultra League, especially with some energy together. You can fire off these Moonblasts, and there's always a chance that you can debuff your opponent. His opponent does swap in a Snorlax here, which is not a great situation for BHaz, but he's going to try to get to these Moonblasts as quickly as possible, and his opponent Swampert did stay in to gather some extra energy, but that also allowed Cresselia to get some energy together of its own. That Snorlax is going to fire off the Earthquake, and it has not been debuffed by a Moonblast yet. BHaz goes for his third Moonblast consecutively, and it does get shielded. He's going to swap here into Obstagoon, get some counters together to gather some energy, and then throw up the shield. This attack will be another Earthquake, so probably a good thing he did shield. In comes the Swampert, and that Swampert has a ton of energy loaded. It is going to be an Earthquake from the Swampert as well. As you can see though, Obstagoon can tank that. It takes a little more than half health, but Obstagoon is still very healthy. Going to go ahead and fire off another Night Slash here after he got the boost from the first one, and this is going to draw that first shield. BHaz going to keep his Obstagoon healthy, giving it a shield here, and then trying to race this Swampert, but it is a very close match against Swampert. He's actually able to sack swap his Cresselia. Really beautiful play by BHaz here, and he comes right back in with his Giratina. His Giratina is running Shadow Claw with Shadow Sneak and Dragon Claw. Out comes his opponent's Giratina, and he goes straight for that Dragon Claw here. A pretty safe situation here for BHaz. He does have a lot of energy together. Going to go ahead and fire off a second one here, and this Giratina is suddenly deep into the yellow, about to touch the red. His opponent makes a beautiful sack swap though to absorb this third Dragon Claw with his Snorlax. BHaz is going to look for the swap there, but he's not able to get it through. Here comes the Dragon Claw from the Giratina, and out comes that Obstagoon, and this Night Slash is going to wrap things up. In game 3 of this set, he's going to lead his Obstagoon into Cresselia. This is another advantage of that Night Slash Dark type attack. It's going to do well against Cresselia, but you obviously have to be very careful of that Moonblast. Super effective damage lands, and then BHaz, I think, considers the swap, but he doesn't go through with it. He's going to have to shield though, because that Dark typing will really betray Obstagoon. His opponent makes a nice swap here to catch this Night Slash with the Alolan Muck. So we're going to see Muck face off against Obstagoon, and this is a matchup that I really think showcases Obstagoon's bulk. He's going to land that cross chop, very spammy attack. Look for the swap there again, but he doesn't do it. His opponent does fire off a Sludge Wave, and look at that. Obstagoon tanks that, no problem, and as you can tell, these Snarls are not doing hardly any damage at all. He's going to fire off another Cross Chop, and then his opponent does get to a charge move pretty quickly. BHaz is not going to shield. It's the Dark Pulse, and it's still not enough to KO. He is going to fire off one more Cross Chop here, and I believe this will KO if it lands, and it does. So Obstagoon took a Dark Pulse and a Sludge Wave, survived, cross-chopped the Muck down, and now it finally falls to Mud Shots. He's going to come in here with this Giratina against the Swampert. Of course, you want to try to avoid that Earthquake, but he's only got one shield, so he's got to be very judicious about how he spends it. Going to go ahead and fire off a Dragon Claw here against the Cresselia. And he does have his own Cresselia here, so he's going to try to avoid using this shield, but the swap is just not there in time. Going to try to get some energy together and go for another Dragon Claw to put some more pressure on this Cresselia. And he does draw that shield, which is really good. Going to go straight for a Shadow Sneak here. I think this might be enough to KO, but his opponent does shield, swapping right into Cresselia. Fingers crossed that we don't get debuffed here. And we do not. So that's really, really good for us. He's going to go ahead and fire off another Moonblast, or excuse me, a first Moonblast here to bring down that Cresselia. His opponent's Swampert comes out, and even a double Earthquake is not going to seal the deal, I don't think. It might, but he goes for the Hydro Cannon first, so pretty clear runway here for BHaz to go ahead and fire off the Moonblast, weaken that Swampert, and this is GG's. Going to the third match of this video, we do have Obstagoon encountering Registeel. It's very interesting to me how BHaz likes to run this matchup. He normally goes for the Night Slash first to try to get the boost, and then go for the Cross Chop subsequently. His opposing Registeel does shield that, although, as you'll see here in a moment, the Cross Chop doesn't do that much damage, so it might not be the best idea to shield the first one, but he goes right for the Cross Chop here, and the opposing Registeel does double shield, which is really, really great for BHaz, already taking both of his opponent's shields. He's going to shield up the Focus Blast. As you notice, the first time it was a Flash Cannon, so his opponent did bluff him out and gain a little bit of extra energy there. In comes the Swampert, and BHaz is going to get some energy together of his own, and then try to catch the Hydro Cannon with his Cresselia, which he is able to do. Cresselia going to come in here, I think a Moonblast and the subsequent Psycho Cuts might be enough. Maybe he goes for the Future Sight to just try to seal the deal even faster, and he does exactly that. Straight for the Future Sight here, and this will almost KO the Swampert. Both of these Pokemon have really weak fast moves, so it's going to be a race to see who can kind of fast move down the other. Out comes his opponent's Giratina. I don't agree with that swap. I don't think that was completely necessary because it does take super effective. Out comes the Obstagoon, going to drop a Night Slash here on the Giratina, and they're really piling it on this dominant Pokemon that is suddenly deep into the red. Very, very nice plays here by BHaz. Going to take that Dragon Claw, no problem, get some extra energy together, and he is going to take one more Dragon Claw, but it's still not a big deal at all. Obstagoon's counters also doing not a lot of damage, but this Night Slash is definitely going to KO Giratina. He does get the boost as well, which is even better. Out comes that Registeel, and Obstagoon is about to run through this team. Cross chop that Swampert, going to come in here with the Registeel and cross chop the Registeel. So in spite of the really clever swap, BHaz just able to plow through this team with his boosted Obstagoon. Going to this match, Obstagoon versus Shiftry. This is a very interesting matchup because I don't think BHaz realizes how much damage the Leaf Blade is going to do, so he's going to go ahead and not shield this first one and let it kind of go through, and it doesn't do that much damage at all, so it's a pretty safe matchup for Obstagoon going forward. He does fire off that Night Slash here and actually work up to a second one and then swap here into Cresselia. Again, fingers crossed for no debuff on his own Cresselia, and it doesn't happen, which is really good. I'm always kind of wary of those matchups here, or wary of that action here, because BHaz does have two Pokemon that are really weak to Cresselia, so he can either spin his shields or he can risk the debuff with his own Cresselia, and he decides to risk the debuff more often than not. So if you decide to run this team with your own Obstagoons from your 7-kilometer eggs, just keep that in mind. You do have two Pokemon weak to Fairy type, so it's going to be really interesting to see how you deal with that. I don't believe that he encounters a Charmer in this video, but I do have more Obstagoon battles coming very soon, so I could definitely show you him against some Charmers later. He's going to go straight for the Moonblast here against the Cresselia, and this will be enough to KO. Out comes his opponent's Shiftry, and he goes right for another Moonblast. So that extra energy he gained is really helpful here, forcing that shield off that Shiftry, and its attack just fell as well, which is really great. His opponent does try to snarl down, but those debuff snarls are not going to be enough. Another Moonblast is going to come through and force that second shield, and BHaz is looking golden here. Going to go ahead here with the Obstagoon. The extra energy he gained is really helpful for that cross chop there. His opponent does get to an attack here, and BHaz is going to go ahead and shield because his opponent is up to 2 Leaf Blades at this point, so Obstagoon can comfortably tank 1, but probably not 2. Out comes his opponent's Melmetal, and Obstagoon really showing its utility here. Going to go ahead and cross chop Melmetal, looking for the swap here into Giratina, and once his opponent sees Big Tina, he is going to go ahead and leave this battle. Going to this next match here, we see Obstagoon lead into Registeel. Again, BHaz likes to play this doing the Night Slash first. Going to try to catch this boost here and maybe draw a shield off his opponent. His opponent does decide to shield, no boost. He is pressing for the cross chop there, as you can see. Registeel does go for the Flash Cannon, again bluffing him out, which is really surprising to me. I'd expect more Registeels to go straight for the Focus Blast, but BHaz is fighting some really good trainers here, so it's just to be expected. BHaz is a part of Team Envent, one of the best PvP squads, I think, in the entire country, maybe even the world. These guys are really stacked. Guys like BHaz, Lyndon Ryu, Call Me Jake, Clash and Cliff, and Jangles, all these guys are really insanely good. El Calvissimo is another one, another great battler, and BHaz just really shows off his skill in this video. If you like this battle footage, go and give BHaz a follow on Twitter. I'll leave his Twitter handle down in the description below, and then if you want to follow Team Envent, they do streams with their Go Battle League battles. They do all their sets, and it's really a lot of fun to watch. I'll leave a link down to their Twitch channel as well. Definitely go and check them out. They're really, really something special. Here we see the Moonblast landing against Giratina. Out comes the Swampert, or excuse me, not Swampert, Lapras. He's going to go straight for his cross chop here against Lapras. Super effective damage. That is a Best Buddy Lapras, which is pretty cool. I don't know what the IVs are on that, or if you even really need the best Buddy boost in the Ultra League. I don't believe that you do, but either way, they have a shiny Lapras that is Best Buddy, and that is really awesome. He goes for a cross chop here to try to bring down this Lapras, which he is barely able to do. Out comes his opponent's Registeel, and Obstagoon clears another team. Going into this match, Obstagoon encounters another Registeel. So BHaz is going to stick to his guns here, try for the boost first with the Night Slash and try to draw that shield. He does not get the shield, opponent holding strong, and he pushes for that cross chop, but this Registeel is going to get off the Flash Cannon. At this point in the battles, I'm pretty much convinced that these Registeels aren't exactly sure that the Focus Blast is going to one-shot Obstagoon. Maybe they are bluffing and they're just that clever, but it's really surprising. As you can tell there, that Focus Blast just erases Obstagoon, but BHaz is not willing to give it a second shield, which is totally understandable. You don't want to go down 2 shields right off the bat. Out comes Zangoose, a Pokemon that Caleb Ping talked about last season. Really, really good at breaking that Giratina and Registeel core with its Shadow Claw, Night Slash, and Close Combat moveset. This is actually really bad for BHaz. He's in a pretty tough spot here. Going to go in with his Cresselia, and as you can tell, those Shadow Claws are doing a lot of damage to an otherwise very tanky Pokemon, and then it gets the boost as well, which is just double bad news for BHaz here. Going to go ahead for the Moonblast and draw that first shield. His opponent is investing, and as you can tell there, that attack fell, but it's still raised by 2 stages because of that Night Slash boost. They simultaneously KO, 1 shield each. Out comes Poliwrath, but at this health deficit, this Giratina is going to have a really hard time trying to win back this match. Gotta go ahead and shield here and fight this match out as long as you can. Ice Punch is not a huge deal, but you definitely don't want to tank them over and over because they do add up over time. Gonna try to get to another Dragon Claw here, but Poliwrath is just so fast with the Mud Shot and Ice Punch combination. One more Ice Punch is gonna seal the deal, and I don't believe that BHaz can get to another 2 Dragon Claws in that time. They do CMP tie, but Poliwrath is gonna win. GG's trainer. Going to the last battle of the video, BHaz sent me a ton of great footage, so I've got more Obstagoon battles coming soon, but I wanted to get this video out first. Here we see the Melmetal switch into the Gyarados. BHaz gains a lot of extra energy on his Obstagoon, and then decides to come in with Cresselia. Cresselia is going to take super effective from the crunch from that Gyarados, so that was not a great situation to take that much damage early on, but he is going to draw that first shield and lower the attack with the Moonblast, which is really great. His opponent does get off a second crunch, and Cresselia is just so bulky. He's going to go here for the Future Sight and see if his opponent decides to shield, and he does not. Gyarados now very weak, but he's going to get to one more charge attack here. BHaz deciding to shield, trying to win switch advantage here, and he's able to do it with just one more Psycho Cut. In comes that Melmetal, and he goes straight for the Moonblast here to try to debuff his Melmetal before he goes out, and he is not able to do it. Melmetal does have access to superpower, so Obstagoon does need to be very careful about that. It's really cool how BHaz plays this matchup out. I'm a big fan of how he finishes this game. So the Rock Slide does land. Out comes the Obstagoon. His opponent switches into Venusaur. Venusaur is not something I've seen a lot of in the Ultra League, but it's really good at busting the Charmers. As more Charmers become more common, maybe we will see more Venusaur. We'll have to wait and see how the meta develops. He's going to go for a third Night Slash in a row. Obstagoon, so spammy, such an awesome Pokemon. Here comes an attack from Venusaur, and he does decide to shield. I think BHaz is going to try to counter down here, and he is barely able to do it. Out comes the Melmetal here, and BHaz is about to ruin this man's whole career. He is going to swap into Giratina to catch this attack. Is it the superpower? And it is. GG's, Battler. Battlers, I hope you enjoyed this footage. I've got a ton more Obstagoon battles ready to go. I'm going to upload another video probably tomorrow. If you want to see more like this, let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to go and give BHaz a follow on Twitter, and then follow Team Envent on Twitch. Those guys are really, really awesome. BHaz, thank you so much for the video footage. This Obstagoon play is just incredible. Guys, thank you again. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.